Hello guys, from now on we are going to start a series on web development. In this series we are going to discuss about different technologies that is included in web development, and few of the technologies you can see right here: HTML, CSS, JavaScript, SAS, Bootstrap, PHP, MySQL, Laravel, REST API, and React. Now these are just a few technologies that are covered in web development. Now, some of the technologies are front-end technologies that comes in front-end technologies. These are HTML, CSS, JavaScript, SAS, Bootstrap, React. These all are just a part of front-end technologies. Now, these are not all the technologies that comes into front-end. Some other technologies like Angular, Vue.js, these are also a part of front end. Now, the backend technologies are PHP, MySQL, Laravel, CodeIgniter, and some others are like Java and Python. These are the backend technologies. Now, I'm not going to cover Java and Python in this series. Mostly, I'm going to talk about PHP, MySQL, Laravel, and CodeIgniter. Now, Laravel and CodeIgniter, these are just the framework of PHP. Now, PHP is the backend language like Java and Python. Uh, we are going to combine PHP with MySQL and create a few projects, and also we are going to include Laravel and CodeIgniter in this series, and we'll make quite a few projects using these technologies. Now, before even continuing the journey, we'll talk about a little bit about where we need to start. Now, the HTML is the basis of web development. Now, if we go to this site and here you can see the definition. HTML is the standard markup language for web pages. Now, what this is saying is that whatever we see on the page, on the website, it all it made up of HTML and CSS. Now, if we see the page source, you can see these are all just the HTML tags. Now, whatever you see in the browser is all made up of HTML and CSS. Now, it's just the visual part that is made up of HTML and CSS and a little bit of JavaScript. Now, what happened on the backend is related to the backend technologies. The backend can be in PHP, Python, or Java, or any other technology. Only the visual part is in HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Now, maybe there are some other front-end technologies that are included in this in any website. Maybe and there's a React involved, or Angular, or Vue. Now, React, Angular, and Vue, these are all front-end framework, and we are going to talk about this later in this series. Now, we are going to start our journey with HTML, which is the foundation of front-end technology, or we can say front-end web development. Now, I've created a folder HTML practice in my computer, and we are going to practice our HTML in this folder. Now, I'm going to open this folder in Visual Studio. Now, if you don't have this software, Visual Studio Code, you can download it from here, Visual Studio Code. I've already downloaded and installed it, so feel free to download it from here and install it. Now, here's my folder, and here's the Visual Studio Code. Now I'm going to create a file in this folder. In that, now the extension is HTML. Please note that the extension should be HTML, otherwise the browser won't even recognize the file. The HTML file is what we are going to display it in browser. Now here we're going to write some HTML code in here. So let's go back to the site here, and now you can see that here the doc type HTML, this is the document type, that is this refers to the version of HTML. Now the current version is HTML5, and in HTML5 we need to include this definition. Now you don't have to write everything from scratch. If you're using Visual Studio Code, you can just type exclamation sign and just press tab, and it will write the whole boilerplate in your file. And all you have to do is just type exclamation point and just press tab. Now for the sake of simplicity, I'm just going to write it manually. Now before continuing our HTML document, I'm just going to include this tag right here. Now HTML starts from these tags. Now everything we write inside this tag is part of HTML. And the first tag that we will include is the head tag. The head tag is the tag which includes all the meta information about the website. Now you can see that on the top, this thing is the meta information about this site. Now this meta information comes from a tag which we are going to include in this head tag, which is title. Now title defines what comes on the top of this tag bar. Let me just type something here, like my first HTML web page. Hit save and open this file in browser. You can just double click it and it will open in your default browser. So you can see that my tablet comes on the top of this tab bar. Now this head tag, it includes all the meta information about the site. Now whatever appears inside the browser comes inside the body tag. Now this body tag includes everything that you are going to see in this area, and this area is known as a document in terms of browser. We're not going to get deep in this topic. We will discuss about this topic when we are going to learn JavaScript. In JavaScript, we are going to talk about documents and objects and all that. Now, whatever I type inside this body tag will appear in this area. You can see that. Now, the first tag I'm going to write is the head tag. Now, head tag, to include a heading, we just need to type h1 and press tab and just write something like my first heading. Hit save, hit refresh. You can see that this is the heading. For the paragraph, we just need to open the P tab and close P tab. Now, in Visual Studio, there's a shortcut. You can just type P and hit tab. It will automatically open and close the paragraph tab or any other tab like H1 or H2. H1 and H2, these are all part of heading. It's just the variants of heading. Like H1 is the upper level of heading, like the first variant, and H2 is the second, and there are 6 variants of heading there. If you need to see it, you can just type it and see it on your own. I'm not going to type everything. I just need to tell you that it's just 6 type of heading. Now for the paragraph, I've already shown you. This is the paragraph.